Okay, I feel like I look really red, but we'll just roll with it. Okay, so, hey guys, this lighting's going to annoy me for the whole video, so, yeah. I decided I'd do another story time this week because I enjoy doing story times. They are, the two story times I've done are two of the most viewed videos I've got. And they're just quite fun to film. So I thought I'd do one, and this, as you can probably tell by the title, is going to be the story of my sort of straight psychopath best friend drama. It's probably going to be quite a long video, but yeah. I also just want to say thank you to Natalie who drew this for me. It's now going to be at the end of all of my videos as well with a bit of music, as it was on last week's video. Yeah, I will probably link Natalie's Instagram in the description box because Natalie's Instagram is full of her artwork and she's so good, so go and check that out, guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, this is actually the third time I've started filming this video because I don't like it and there's been complications with people ringing me every time, so let's try and get it right this time. So me and this guy, we met and we became very close friends. Let's give him a name. Let's call him Josh. So me and Josh became very close friends and very early on. And as far as I knew, Josh was straight. He was just a friend. We got very close and we rung a lot and FaceTimed a lot, but he was just a friend. And then one day we went to a party and whatever, and I can't remember why, but we were like hugging or something as a joke, and then he put his hand up the back of my top as like a joke, and I like snapped his hand away because I'm a very self-conscious person and don't like that sort of thing. Like, I love hugs, but I don't like being overly touchy-feely. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So I was like, no, that's not happening, you know, I'm self-conscious, don't do that. And then Josh decided to make the effort to pull me to one side, and he was like, oh, what's the matter and whatever, like, I didn't mean to upset you. And I was like, no, it's fine, just don't do it again, sort of thing. So then we were sat outside the front of, like, this, like, house. I think we were on, like, a bench or something. And Josh decided to tell me that he had feelings for me and that he was bisexual and that I'd helped him realise he was bisexual. And all these other things in like great detail. And I was just sort of like, okay. Now then, an important thing to note during this whole thing was that Josh has a girlfriend. Let's give her a name because she's also going to be an important part of this story. Let's call her Alexa. So Alexa is a factor in this whole thing. And I was just sort of like, okay, does Alexa know this? And he said, no, I don't know if I should tell her or not. So I said, because Alexa was a good friend of mine, I said, okay. Now, he was supposed to have gone round to mine to see me one day because we live like a little bit far apart from each other. And he was supposed to come round just to see me for the day because I was home alone. And I said, okay, if you had have ended up coming round the other day, would you have cheated on Alexa or tried to? And he was like, I don't know, but I would have asked you not to tell her if we had. And I was like, okay, I think you need to tell her because I'm a loyal friend and I was not chilled. I was like, okay, like, I don't want to be snaky, like, I feel like you should tell her because if you were maybe going to cheat on her, that's not okay. So he went and told and spoke to Alexa about it all. I don't know exactly what he told her because obviously I was not there present for that conversation. So he told her about it, and then she basically obviously was a little bit upset, but sort of was like, okay, whatever, like, cool, whatever. But he didn't obviously tell her everything, which was quite apparent to me, as you'll find out as this story goes on. Alexa went and spoke to her other friend who was at the party, who's also quite important. Let's call her Paige. So Alexa spoke to Paige about it all, and then Paige later on came and spoke to me. Now then, I had a full-on mare. I didn't really know what was going on. I was confused. Alexa wouldn't then speak to me for the rest of this party. And I just didn't know what was going on, and I suddenly felt like I was this bad guy in this situation in which I hadn't even done anything. So I was on the phone with my friend, like very emotional, was like, literally, what is going on right now? And then later on, I went upstairs and I just made sure all my like I'd gone to check on my bag because I'd left it upstairs and I wanted to make sure all my stuff was there and whatever. So I'd gone and checked on that, and then Paige came in the room, and Paige was a very close friend of mine as well, and Paige sat down with me and spoke to me about it all, made sure I was okay, and I basically told her my opinion of what had happened, and I basically filled in the blanks of what she didn't know from what Alexa had told her. That night, when the party ended, Paige, Alexa and Josh all went back to Alexa's house, and Paige rung me throughout the night saying, like, very upset, was like, they are non-stop arguing, he's crying, she's shouting, they've non-stopped and whatever, like, it's been all night, I'm literally going from room to room trying to avoid them. And at one point she rung me again and said, you'll never guess what's just been said. Oh wait, no, she was like, I need to tell you something, I'm really bored, it's 5 in the morning, I can't get to sleep, you've not got to sleep yet, do you want to come and meet me? Because I wasn't very comfortable where I was, purely because there wasn't really much room, there's a few of us sleeping, so I was like, sure. So about 5 in the morning we walked down to McDonald's to meet each other, and when I went and met her, she said to me, did Josh tell you it was a joke? And I was like, no. And she was like, Josh just said it was a joke and that you know it was a joke. So at which point I'm furious because that's not something you should ever try and joke about. Like, that's not a chilled joke. So yeah, that kicked off, but it didn't, because I was just like, do you know what, I'm not even going to do it, let's just go to McDonald's, have a nice time, and then we're going to go to sleep when I get home. So eventually I went home, whatever, my parents came and picked me up, and I went home, and then later the next day, I got a message from Josh saying, had I said anything weird last night? Now then, bearing in mind, Josh is actually over the age of 18, and we were at a party, and Josh had been drinking quite heavily. So as you can now probably realise, that factored in to this whole story. So Josh had said that to me, and I just been so over it at this point. I was like, if he's going to even try and deny it, I'm not going to deal with it. So I ignored the message and I carried on whatever with my day, and I practically ignored him for like the whole day. Eventually I picked up a call from him at night, and I was just like, did you say it was a joke? And he said, no, that's a lie, whoever's told you that is lying, yada yada yada, it's true, I'm sorry and whatever. And I was like, okay. So I was very confused, and I didn't really know what had gone on at this point. So he was going to come speak to me and see me the next day about it, and he didn't. And then later on, he comes up to me really, like, quite aggressively, and was like, Jacob, come here, and whatever, and called me over. So I went and spoke to him, and he was just like, going off at me, saying that I'd lied, I'd made it all up, it wasn't true, I'd over-exaggerated everything, and that I'd been this horrible snaky person. To which point I'm now like, so I was angry, but I was more like upset because I hadn't understood what had gone on, and I was just like, okay, I have not made this up, like, there is no chance I had made this up. It was 100% true. I was not intoxicated like he was, can I point out. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I was being accused of something, like, I'd been accused of making up this whole story by someone who was supposed to now be a very close friend. And I was just, like, in shock. And I was like, what? So he then calls through Alexa, Paige, and another one of their friends. So it's now a 4-on-1, like, attack, basically. And I was just accused of saying all these things and whatever, and I was just sort of, and making it all up. And I was like, okay, no. What I said was, and, like, they wouldn't let me speak and even voice what I'd actually said. Like, they were accusing me of saying things and going into more detail than what I'd actually said to them. And there was this whole thing, and then he started threatening me and was like, I can't really say the words because I don't want to swear, but he was like saying like, I want to beat you up, I want to kick you, and all this sort of thing. Like, it was like very much. So I was just like, I'm not dealing with this, and I walked off. I literally said that and walked off. So that all happened, and then for like that night and the rest of like the next like 4 weeks, every night I was just getting like messages off of Josh about what a horrible person I am, what a snake I am, that I'm sick in the head, and all these things, like messages like over and over again. Like I sort of want to get them up, but I'm using my phone to film. Like, and it was just like constant, non-stop, every night. Like I ended up muting him, because I know if I'd have blocked him, he would have got like all of his other friends I was also friends with, like he would have like been using their accounts and things and to message me. So I ended up just muting him and just not opening the messages, and was like, okay, I'm just going to ignore it and like just leave it like that. So one day he decided it would be a good idea to kick off in a big group chat that a lot of us were in. And when I say a lot of us, I mean like there were like 30 people, and I was friends with a lot of people in this chat. So he made this big effort to sort of try and make me out to be this person I'm not, and tell everyone that I was a liar and a snake and all this. And he literally started on me in this chat and was like, Jacob's this, Jacob's that, and whatever, like really going for me, except he wasn't saying my name, he was taking like digs at me. But then obviously because he was taking digs at me without saying my name, everyone was messaging him being like, who's that about? And he was telling them all about it. So then other people, this is one thing that really frustrates me, when other people just get involved in a situation that has nothing to do with him. It frustrates me so much. And he was like really getting like people to like turn against me, even though he was flat out in the wrong, and like he'd put me through so much stupid situations. So then that all happened, and he started in this group chat. My friend started sticking up for me, and she was like, do you know what, no, it's really immature of people to start on people in a group chat. If you want to, talk to them face to face, calmly, about something respectfully. And she was really sticking up for me, going for him back and sort of thing, which I really appreciated, because I ended up leaving that chat when it all kicked off, because I was having this massive panic attack. I could barely breathe. I was crying my eyes out, because I was just like, what the hell has even happened? I have done nothing wrong. I tried to be a good friend. I spoke nicely to everyone. All I've done is tell the truth. I hadn't even let it get out. The only people I'd spoke to about it was one friend, who did not tell anyone else, by the way, and then him and her and Josh and Alexa's best friend, who Alexa told Paige about, sort of thing. Like, I've done nothing wrong. Like, so then he'd been screaming and threatening me and stuff and all this sort of thing, and literally it was like every day I was just getting messages, and it was just so much like, we'd be around, like he'd see me and he'd like say things, like he couldn't not just be nasty, like he'd have to say something, and it was so like draining for me. Like I was coming home like so upset. I was like, every day I was like, I'd like just trying to do everything to avoid him, because I just felt so upset, like that someone had made the effort to come up to me and tell me they'd have feelings for me and all this, and then after it all, like after he realised he'd done something stupid, he made me look out to be the horrible person. So eventually he sort of calmed down and tried to speak to me. This is like weeks after, by the way. And he spoke to me back calmly and was like, hello. And like literally, I think he messaged me saying hello. So I was like, hi. And he was like, finally, why haven't you been replying? I was like, because I don't want to argue. Like I'm so drained by this. I've got a really itchy nose, I don't know why. And he was like, we wouldn't have to argue if you just apologise. And I was like, well, what am I apologising for? And he was like, for lying. And I was just like, honestly, I did not like, and like I'd lost it at this point. I'm so over just being like this like crying victim. So I was just like, do you know what? No. I was like, I am not lying. Maybe you were drunk and said things you didn't mean, or maybe because you were drunk, you don't remember saying them, but you said those things. I'm not going to sit here and apologise for lying, like, when I haven't lied. Like, it was ridiculous, the whole thing. Like, it was this massive thing over, like, him doing something stupid and then making me to be this liar when he was. Like, it was so stupid. Eventually, it calmed down and he was sort of chilled out with me and sort of, like, he started being a lot nicer to me because me and Paige started talking a lot more, and she sort of started talking sense into those two and was like, maybe, like, what, and well, she more spoke sense into Alexa to make Alexa more chilled with me, and she was like, well, he's not, I don't think he's lying. And Paige, honestly, me and Paige are very close friends again, and Paige was very chilled with me and was like, very much sticking up for me to people, saying like, I honestly don't think he's lying. Which was so nice to me because it finally meant that someone who knew a lot about the situation was telling these people who knew nothing about the situation that I wasn't this horrible person. And then eventually he came up to me and Josh, by the way, Josh came up to me and just spoke to me and was like, can we just drop it? I want to just leave it all and just forget about it all. And I've been so drained by this point that I was happy to drop it and was like, yes. Looking back at it now, I wish I'd said no. Because him wanting to drop it, to me, I think of now, and I'm like, he genuinely realised I was not going to stop by telling the truth. I was not going to give in to him trying to make me look like this liar. I think he thought that him by turning people against me would get me to be like, yeah, do you know what, I did lie, even though I didn't. But I never gave into it, and I think he sort of realised that he was so in the wrong that he just wanted to leave it to make himself stop looking like an absolute idiot. So I sort of wish I hadn't have dropped it, but I agreed to drop it and whatever. And that's pretty much it for this story. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of things that I've not said because I've tried to keep it like clean because I don't really want to swear and things. And there was a lot of that and very nasty comments and very hurtful things said throughout everything. As you can tell, it was a very emotional thing for me, as this lasted for like, I think like 3 months, I think. And then, so we made up and we, do you know what? I'll just say that a lot of things happened after this story, with Josh and Alexa, that still sort of going on up till very recently, including myself and Paige now as well. Well, not that me and Paige are friends, it's stuff that they've done to me and Paige. So, you know, maybe people like this video, comment down below and maybe I'll make a part 2 of stuff that's happened since that story. Because that's pretty much it for that part of the story. It probably doesn't seem like that bad, but it really was. But I don't know. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to make a part 2, give it a thumbs up or comment down below. And yeah, subscribe if you enjoyed the videos. Watch my other videos. Go and follow Natalie on Instagram because she's incredible. And yeah, bye.